Hi there, this is Dr. Vera Singleton. Thank you so much for joining me today. We are going to talk about something that is so crucial for so many women that are experiencing heavy bleeding, constant bleeding for multiple days out of the month, far beyond what you're typically used to. And this typically happens for women who are 35 plus, and if you're in the perimenopausal age range. Now, that typically is in the late 30s through the 40s and the early 50s. Very, very common. If you want to stop heavy bleeding now, you want to stay tuned for what you're going to hear. I'm Dr. Vera Singleton, and I am a perimenopause and hormone expert. I have been helping women with issues related to menstrual cycles, general hormone imbalance, thyroid issues, adrenal, and the thing about it is women usually come to me when they have tried herbs and creams and potions and diet changes and nothing has worked. And if you don't want birth control as the only option to control your heavy cycles, you have to hear what I'm going to say. Because this is something that's really important that a lot of my clients have, you know, really amazing success stories about the things that I have put in place for them: dietary changes, nutritional changes, balancing the hormones. All of these things have to be done. It's not just one thing. The testimonials are there to prove it. Please check on my Google and Yelp and uh, lots of great stories. And the reason why women have so much trouble with periods is because they're very impactful. This was from a study done with the Flow menstrual tracker app. And look at this. A lot of women are just completely avoiding sexual activity. The confidence is lower by 75%, not tending to participate in social activities, affecting their attendance, your energy, your mood. But the worst, and what a lot of people report, is this fear of bleeding through. My God, on your bed and clothes and chairs. And it doesn't matter whether it's day or night, it's all the time. Clotting, cramping, you know the story. So the thing is to control menstrual cycles, especially when they're going on for more than a typical 4 to 5 days onward, 10 days, 20 days, even 3 weeks plus. This happens. You have to get down to controlling the essential menstrual hormones. But not only that, you have to pick the right herbs to support the HPOA axis. Now, a lot of you have heard about black cohosh and maca, and those herbs do work, but most women aren't taking the right combination. They're not taking the right doses of it. And then therefore you don't see the results that you're looking for. And then secondly, I love AIP. I love, all of these diets and keto and etc. But there's a certain diet that you need for your cycle. You need to learn how to feed your cycle. And a lot of times this just does not happen. So many women come in eating the wrong foods for their menstrual cycle. If you think about it, you must build your system up, especially if you're bleeding out for more than half of the month. It's crazy. You have to have the proper nutrients and vitamins and minerals to support. Yeah, this is a very heavy metabolic exercise, which is getting this blood, shedding that menstrual lining. You have to put in the right combination of vitamins and minerals. Otherwise, you're going to be completely depleted and tired and exhausted. And the PMS is going to be even worse. Now, IUDs are an option, absolutely, with or without hormone, can be controlling. That can be an issue for some women, but for most, it does a good job. And then, of course, I always do advocate, if surgery is the best option, it's the best option. Sometimes you can do all of these things, and yet you don't have the recession and bleeding. So you have to consider surgery, right? But we look at all of these things on the table, not just one. That's a common mistake that a lot of people make. depending on only one thing to control the bleeding. And especially when you get into the later years, especially in the 40s, and when the FSH tends to pop up, you have to do the hormone testing. This is an example of a patient that I had. God forbid her bleeding was, 3 weeks, and then she would have a break for 2 weeks, and then it would bleed again for 3 weeks. And her hormone levels, as you see, were just so depleted across the board. So you have to get at these essential menstrual hormones. You see here estrogen, progesterone. What you don't see here is thyroid. Even subclinical thyroid, including Hashimoto's, can be affecting the menstrual cycle. And of course, your levels of serotonin, which are not measured in blood. I typically will do a different specialty test for that. But you have to get after these sex hormones. Otherwise, all of the work that you're doing are related to your diet. Yes, it works, but you have to get after the hormones, especially in the 40s, especially when the FSH pops above 10. It's a must. Now, what's your next step? If you've been having really crazy menstrual cycles, lots of clotting, and you're just really tired of it, book a 30-minute Ask Me Anything appointment. You're more than welcome to just talk about the issues that you're dealing with. You can get clarity on the underlying reason. I'll give you my honest opinion about what I think is happening for you and what you can do. And of course, talk about diet for you. And then, if you're interested in working together, we can talk about how to get to the bottom of what you're dealing with. So you can visit my site, drverasingleton.com, or click the link and that'll take you right straight to my appointment, or you can book time with me. I'll see you soon.